Dak Prescott is the starting quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. And last week I did a topic called Dak's Contract Will Cripple the Cowboys. And I was proud of it. It's really good content. I think it's a well-done topic. And it would be really easy for me to take the new information we've gotten in the last couple days about Dak Prescott and simply go, see, Dak is proving my point. He wants to get paid too much money. And doing so, I think, would be confirmation bias. When I take a step back and try to look at this situation fairly, I want to actually, I think before we do that, I want to share what was reported. Here's the thing that was reported that really changed the situation. Here is word for word what Chris Sims said the other day. He said, I know from some people who are in the know that he, being Dak Prescott, has been offered 5 years, $175 million. He, Dak, wants a 4-year deal. If they do agree to a big 5-year deal, they would like a really big number at the end of that 5th year to cover their butts for what the market might be at the position 5 years from now. They being Dak Prescott's camp. And I've heard that he's asking for somewhere like north of $45 million in the 5th year. So that's the quote. People took it and ran with it. People were like, my buddy sent me messages. A lot of my friends were like, Dak wants how much? Or Dak wants $45 million a year? That's insane. And a lot of people took it at face value. Oh, Dak wants $45 million a year. And I want to be clear. I stand by everything I've said about Dak previously. I would not give him the massive contract he wants. I think he wants more than he's worth. But all that being said, I think people are overreacting to the most recent news we got out of the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott's negotiation. We got a glimpse of a negotiation. That's what happened. That's what negotiations are. You know, Dak and his side are haggling. Dak will say, I want this much. And he gives an estimate that's probably more than he's worth. And the Cowboys give an offer that's too low. And they go high, they go low, and somewhere they meet in the middle. And that's what the contract will be. So $45 million in that 5th year. I want to defend Dak here because he's repeatedly said multiple times, at least his people have, his representation have come out and said, they want a 4-year deal. They don't care about the 5th year. They haven't asked for any money in the 5th year. Now, I could see a situation where, who knows, maybe there was a line thrown out there. Dak said, or his people said, I want a 4-year contract. And you know what, if the Cowboys want a 5th year, you know what, they got to give me $45 million a year. Maybe that's what was said. And I know that $45 million a year for a quarterback sounds absurd. You're like, what? But 5 years from now, maybe not. Maybe 5 years from now, the financial structure of the league is going to change, and there's going to be new CBA, there's going to a bunch of new stuff, and the salary cap's going to go up. And 5 years from now, with a higher salary cap, for all we know, $45 million for a quarterback could be a deal. Could be a really good, cheap deal for a quarterback. We don't know. And if Dak Prescott views himself as an elite quarterback, which I'm sure he does, then I understand why he would want that much money. He wants elite quarterback money because he views himself as an elite quarterback. And then I want you to think about this. I watch Survivor. It's a great TV show. And the reward for winning Survivor is you get $1 million. Woo! And I think about this all the time when I watch Survivor. $1 million really isn't that... Like, you're not... If you get $1 million, you're not really set for life. I know you're like, what? How could Zach say that? I'm not saying $1 million, man. If I get $1 million tomorrow, my life is so much better. But think about when someone wins Survivor, they get, quote, $1 million. They really only get like $700,000 because a bunch of that goes to taxes. And then how far does $700,000 go over the course of your lifetime? It doesn't really, you're not set for, if you win Survivor, you're not actually set for life. It's not really enough to take care of your family and you for forever, especially if you have little kids. Think about this. Dak Prescott has been severely underpaid the last couple of years. The last 4 years, he's at an annual salary of $680,000. That's a lot of money for you and me, but for a franchise quarterback, that's insanely, insanely cheap. And you got to remember, Dak Prescott's career he's got a limited window to work in his lifetime doing what he does. If he wants to be set for life and not have to work again after football, he's going to have to make a lot more money. I think the Cowboys have gotten a bargain so far with Dak Prescott. I think maybe now they should cut bait. It would not be insane to say that, in my opinion. But when you look at Dak Prescott's perspective, his side of things, it makes total sense to me when he says, I want to get set for life. I've been the Dallas Cowboys quarterback. I have made pennies on the dollar compared to what other, like, look at what Russell Wilson or Aaron Rodgers or all these other quarterbacks in the NFL. They've been paid so much money, and Dak has been paid almost nothing the last couple of years in comparison. Again, a lot for you and me, but if I was making, I'm nowhere near this, but let's say I was making $700,000 a year, I could do my career till I'm 80. So I could accrue a lot more money over the course of that time. Dak Prescott is like 10, 12, maybe 15 years to work in his career. And he's not done it long. My point is this: he's not set for life right now. He's got some nice wealth, but his career earnings really are not enough for Dak Prescott to be set for life. That's my point here. Because he's not only going to take care of himself, he's going to take care of his family, his brother, other people around him. He wants enough money so that when he's done with football, he doesn't have to worry about himself or his family ever again. And I completely understand that. I feel for Dak Prescott. He's got to pay his agent. He wants to take care of his family, his extended family. And again, he's been the Dallas Cowboys quarterback for a couple of years now. Their starting quarterback. He's won a lot of games. The dude rightfully wants to be paid, and I get it. He's made $2.7 million over the course of the last couple of years. That's not actually that much in the scheme of things. He's not even necessarily set for life if he takes care of his brother and then has kids. And I think, honestly, it's in everyone's best interest if Dak Prescott plays on the franchise tag. Again, in his NFL career, he's made $2.7 million playing football. A lot of money. But think about this. On the franchise tag, next year, he'd make over $33 million for 1 year. It's a win-win. The Cowboys get a franchise quarterback. They get another year to evaluate him and decide if they want to give him a long-term deal. And if Dak Prescott gets $33 million, he is set for life. His family's taken care of. He's got enough money. He can live the rest of his life. If he is smart with his money, takes care of his brother, does this and that. I want to be clear. I want to see Dak get paid. I want to see a guy set for life. I think that's a cool story. He's definitely put in his dues. He's earned it. And I want to see Dak Prescott and his family get set for life. I would love to see that. Now, I'm not convinced he's worth $175 million. I don't know about that. But I think the franchise tag, again, is the perfect solution. $33 million for a 1-year contract with Dak Prescott. Everybody wins. The Cowboys win. They get a year to evaluate him. And Dak Prescott wins because he gets the money I think he deserves. He gets paid for really the last couple of years. He got grossly underpaid the last couple of years. He'll get paid the money he really deserves, in my opinion. Now, back to my original point. I want to, once again, defend Dak. He did not ask for $45 million a year. In fact, he hasn't asked for any money in year 5 at all. He wants a 4-year contract. That's repeatedly been said. Chris Sims said he wants $45 million in year 5. Again, he hasn't asked for a 5-year contract. He's asked for a 4-year contract. And then, okay, Dak views himself as an elite quarterback, so he wants elite quarterback money. Plus, again, he's been massively underpaid the last couple of years. And it's sad, in my opinion, that the Dallas Cowboys couldn't take advantage of the fact that they had a quarterback they were massively underpaying, and at the time they were paying their quarterback less than $1 million, almost nothing for a franchise quarterback. In that time, they couldn't take advantage and win a Super Bowl and build a better team around him. But I don't know. I really honestly have some empathy for Dak. He wants to get paid, and he deserves to get paid more than he's made. And, Dak, it's interesting because we're hearing about negotiations. We're hearing about, Dak's asking for this ridiculous amount, and way up here, and the Cowboys want to give him less way down here. And the reality is they go super high, the Cowboys go super low. Somewhere in the middle is where the two sides are going to meet. We're hearing about negotiations, and so I don't know that I think it's helpful to read into the numbers we're hearing because they're numbers in a negotiation that's ongoing. They're not final numbers. Things are being thrown out there because it's haggling. I go high, they go low. I just don't think we should read so much into the numbers we're hearing, and definitely don't overreact. Dak Prescott did not ask for $45 million a year. That's absurd. And I think the fact that people, again, I'm a guy, people call me a Dak hater all the time. I always say, I wouldn't pay Dak Prescott the massive contract he wants. But again, I think people are wrong here. The way it's being reported, $45 million a year, says who? And it's just not true. It's just not true. And I just think it's really weird. If you're going to, you can be mad at Dak Prescott. You can say he's asking for too much. But if you're going to do it, at least base it off of something that's more substantial than what we're hearing. Because from everything I've heard, he hasn't even asked for a contract in year 5. He doesn't want a 5-year contract. So I'm ranting now, but I'm a guy that has been called a Dak hater a ton. This is a time where I will defend Dak Prescott. he wants money. He should get paid. I think a franchise tag is a perfect option. And I think the way people are kind of slandering and really making fun of Dak right now is not quite appropriate given the lack of great reporting we've heard recently. And so I don't know. I think, again, I know I wouldn't pay Dak the $175 million, the number that's being out there, but I'd give Dak some money. He deserves it. And I think I just have empathy here. And I think people are taking a little story and running with it because there's probably nothing else to talk about. But there's a massive overreaction right now happening with Dak Prescott. I feel kind of bad for the Dak Prescott camp because they're getting dragged through the mud, and I don't think they deserve it.